So Zach, share with us more other challenges that you've faced in this role, coming in as a new business analyst in the agriculture, science, or pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, another big challenge is actually just knowing about agriculture.
Yeah.
I studied biomedical engineering, biomedical science, so it was more human science based.
Yeah.
And so really just trying to figure out what our business partners, our stakeholders are actually doing so that I can effectively help them, how our products fit into their process, how we can effectively solve their problems. I hope it's not the case everywhere.
Yeah.
But in my case, there's not a whole lot of business documentation on their processes. It's more tribal knowledge. And so the major way to learn that is through meetings and those requirements gathering meetings, potentially one-off meetings, or from somebody else within the team. You know, your product owner maybe has been there for a while. Maybe your development team has been there for a while, and they're knowledgeable. So really just learning the business process and how our products fit into that and what problems we're trying to solve for them was a big challenge and still is a big challenge.
Yeah. How do you go about addressing it, and from your proactivity side, like what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, be a sponge, one.
Yeah.
Again, be willing to learn, be willing to not know is one thing. Be willing to ask questions when you're in those meetings. You know, I talk to my manager sometimes, and who can I learn from?
Gotcha.
Right? So you can set up those one-off meetings. Talk if your product owner has been there a while and knows. You can have one-off conversations with them. Hey, what what does the business do? What are we actually doing here?
Yeah.
You know, just figuring that out with the people that you're aware of, and then asking the people that you're aware of for other people on your stakeholders. Who can I talk to learn more?
Got you. So being proactive, being okay not to know the answers, but being willing to ask questions. And just to summarize, what was that?
Yeah, seeking out people who can help, explain.
Yep, and maybe even facilitating those meetings in a way where you have the right people who can give you the answers, because sometimes it's really hard to chase the person who actually knows that knowledge, right?
Yep.
And Zach pointed out that a lot of the knowledge is tribal, meaning that they assume that the people in the ecosystem of that business know, but when a new person comes in, he or she doesn't have that knowledge. Now, is that the right thing, or is that good? It's not good, but there is so much happening in the company that people sometimes aren't able to create those kind of processes.
That's the last thing.
And there's upgrades that have happened. Maybe there was documentation, but with the upgrade or some kind of enhancement, that document is no longer applicable, and then maybe one of the business analysts or product manager left, and they just haven't been able to catch up with the current work where the process is not clean. So it's a totally okay thing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's nobody's fault.
It's nobody's fault. And that's one of the reasons, honestly, they're looking to hire open-minded business analysts who are willing to kind of ask those questions and take ownership, because it's also your responsibility to create those processes, instead of saying, oh, you guys don't have all these processes. Well, that's the reason why they hired you. So just keeping that attitude, it's really important as a business analyst. What else? Give us one more challenge. From more of an agile or sprints perspective. What are some other challenges that you see, not only for yourself but in the team? What are some things that you're seeing?
Yeah, from more of an agile perspective is in our company we're highly integrated, and it's all internal products. So we're using other people's data and pulling it into ours, stuff like that. And so some of the biggest challenges stopping a sprint or holding up a sprint or a particular feature.
Stopping, you said,
Sorry, stopping is the wrong word. Delaying a particular feature is maybe a better way to put that.
Okay.
Is that another team has not done a particular feature or built out a particular building block for your team to use.
So, like you said, your team is your products are very integrated. Can you first grade it for us? Like, what does that mean for a new business analyst?
Yeah, what I mean by that is, your product uses information from somebody else's product on the back end, right?
Yep. And if you would you be able to give an example? Let me think. 1, 2.
So maybe like Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.
They pull in like information from whoever is putting on that event.
Yep. So for the sake of some kind of a model for you to grab onto, and a lot of products are like that. They have something called APIs where they pull in data, and I'm blanking out on that name, but so it's much more convoluted, and sometimes you just need to sit down and kind of understand. And then how do you go about solving for that challenge?
Yeah, so there's several different ways. It's usually having some sort of conversation with that other team. First, you got to figure out who you want to integrate with. Who's actually providing that data. And then it's a matter of talking to them. So whether that's through email, whether that's in person, obviously in person is always better. And then it's just having conversation. Hey, we are ready to work on X feature, but we need this type of data from you. Where are you guys at? When is this prioritized for your team?
Yeah, and that's actually a really that gets into some of the how to ask the right questions and how to prepare for those questions. So like when you had to do it for the first time, or when you go and do it, how do you prepare for that conversation? Because you have 30 minutes and you want to make the most out of that 30 minutes, right? Do you have like a mental model that you want to share on, what are some things that you ask?
I go with the perspective of the company is a team. You work in your development team, but then you're also a bigger development community as a team. Helping solve the business's problems. And so when you're communicating with another development team, you don't want to be like, hey, we need this now. Like, we're waiting on you guys. Like, no. You need to come with an open mind and say, we're this app. We are trying to do this. We want to integrate with you. You're the source of truth, the person providing the data. Do you have this already and we're just not seeing it? If not, when is this? Is this something that we can talk about so that we can put it, in your product, get it added, so that then we can use it?
Got you. Thanks for clarifying that. And that for somebody who is kind of new, I think just that model would be very useful.
As a team, you got to be okay with figure out that answer from the other team first, but then you got to realize you might have to come up with a backup plan. Because there are cases where that team has not prioritized it for the next month or two. Right? And so then you got to get creative and either talk with your stakeholders to delay that feature and prioritize something else within your team.
Got you.
or talk with that other team and see if you can work something out with them.
Great. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We will sure to come back with more exciting videos on Agile topics.